Put the eighth down and come solve these problems.
Man, an eighth?
Trying something new today. Smoking with your therapist. Somewhat on location. Still trying to solve problems 1/8 at a time. I have a friend coming on the line today. I think that she could use my services, but we'll see. We'll see, because maybe not. She had some issues, some underlying issues that she thinks she wanted to talk about. She's identified herself, and she said that I possibly could help her with it. So I'm going to do what I always do, I'm going to run her through a gauntlet, ask her some questions. But yeah, let's see if we can try to identify some problems, create some solutions, 1/8 at a time. At minimum, we're going to have fun. At minimum, we're going to have fun. Hello.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, I wanted to start off with just getting you familiar with what I do. So my podcast is called Smoking with Your Therapist. Our slogan is that we provide solutions 1/8 at a time.
Right.
I like for people who look like us to get used to talking about issues that they have, identifying problems, and sharing them. Because I think that sometimes we feel like we go through things alone. And what you do, what your experience in life, like when we can talk it through, it can be a testimony to other people. Just feeling like you out there alone, but then you hear somebody else going through some of the same stuff you going through, and watch, they even made it through. They telling you like, I'm going through it, but I ain't let go. I kept going. I pushed through it type stuff. So that's kind of what I'm doing with the Smoking with Your Therapist. The thing is, though, we do it while we smoke. We do it while we smoke. So even though you're not a smoker, if you're comfortable around the smoke, you can still participate. And I think you can still benefit from it. But if you, don't like weed in any kind of way, or you're offended by smoking in any kind of way, then, yeah, this wouldn't be the podcast or the therapist for you. But that's kind of what we're doing right now. I like to meet in person, but, with the convenience of people's schedules, I'll do it over the phone. I built a studio, and it's a library as well, to where I bring people over and I put them in, kind of submerge them into my world. And we talk. We do a 45 to an hour session, and I've done over 60 of these. And, man, people could say whatever they want when I'm not around, but I know when I am around and when they're leaving, they always tell me that they have a great time. I haven't had anybody tell me that, man, this was timely, this was needed, man, this was powerful. Just they want to do it again type stuff. So I've only had good results from it. And I'm just gonna keep going. Just gonna keep going with it, So with anybody I talk to, I like to, just set a baseline and try to see what are their experiences with therapy. Have you been to a counselor before, psychologist, psychiatrist? What's your thoughts on therapy in the sense of, would you even think about going? Is it a positive thing, negative? Talk to me on some of those when it comes to therapy for you.
Well, to be honest with you, I think therapy, especially within our community, the Black community, we were cultured to fix our own business, right? So going to someone that's not like your family member, and sometimes even family members, like keep things to yourself, because when you have people up in your business, there's always negativity, and I'm thinking that's based off their experience, right? So, but as you know, as you get older and you're more exposed to like different people and even like different countries and cultures, then you realize that, you know, we have a problem as Black people. We need to be more trusting. I know our trust issue comes from, you know, slavery, where, you know, we it's like we always on the defense. We always like suspicious because what? Because we think that people are going to get us, right? So we have that guard up. So it's very difficult for a lot of people to be vulnerable. And I understand because of the mistrust and, you know, what you're used to, or even stories that you've heard from other people. I understand that. But, you know, a point in time, you know, you have to evaluate yourself and say that, you know, certain behavior that you display is because of certain trauma that you experience. Like a lot of people, even grown people, sometimes you wonder, why are they always so bitter? Why are they always so angry? Why is it that things get to them? Why is it there? You know, there's different things, but if you really look deep and really analyze the situation and even talk to them, everything, all that trauma started from childhood. And because they didn't have anybody that they trust that they could have that conversation with. So, you know, it gets worse as you get older. But like I said before, I believe that counseling is important because, like, when I was in Jamaica, like, there's, like, you know, our culture is a little bit different from American culture. So when I came here, a lot of things were culture shock. And then, you know, it also has to do with family values too. Because even though you may have, you're from the same culture, your family values and beliefs are different. So when I came here, I had to do a lot of adjustment because, you know, like, oh, wow, are you serious? Like, even kids can just talk back to their parents like, oh, I'm like, hold on, who is the adult here? That's like so disrespectful. But then when you were growing up, you know, you were always taught to, what do you say, to be seen and not heard, right? But the thing about it, the difference is that you can express yourself as a child, but you should still express it in a respectful way. And the thing about it is, you know, parents or even teachers or mentor should, you know, encourage children to speak their mind, but in a way where it's not, you know, being disrespectful, like using curse words or, you know, acting as if, you know, you're oh, I know better, you can tell me what to do and stuff like that. So it's important for, you know, you give your kids the opportunity to express themselves, but you have to kind of nurture them and guide them in the way to do it. You're going to say that when I was in Jamaica, I studied, I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. And then, like, on exiting, we had to, like, do peer counseling training. So that helps us out, you know, how to deal with, you know, your peers, how you can be a comfort to them, and they can be vulnerable with you and open up with you to let you understand what they're going through without any judgment. Because I think a lot of people are upset or afraid because of the judgment that they receive whenever they're, you know, they open up to another person. But I think if we have more people who advocate for counseling and therapy, especially within the minority, as they would say, minority category, you know, and even us as Black people, if we advocate for it, normalize it, then I think people will be more receptive. Because, you know, you always say, take care of your physical health. But if you think about it, your mental health is important because what? If your brain shut down, if you go totally insane, you cannot control what your body really do. So if you are able to take care of your mental health, then, you know, it'll be a lot easier to take care of your entire being. So that's what I think. That's just my opinion. And as I get older, I appreciate the art of counseling and therapy, whatever you want to call it, whether you want to do yoga, you want to do group therapy, one-on-one, family, marriage, whatever. I think it's very important. And, you know, we need to embrace that part of life because it's a part of our well-being. So that's just my opinion. Maybe I was talking a lot too much, but, you know.
No, I agree. I agree with a lot of what you said. You made some key points. There was something that stood out to me, though. So you referred to our culture. You said that quite a few times while you were talking. Our culture. Now, and I expressed to you that I'm doing this whole podcast for people in general, but I'm specifically targeting people who look like us. My whole thing with the our culture, I'm bringing that up and I'm keying in on that because of how we met. And you talked about you being from Jamaica. So when you're here and you're talking to me, are you saying our culture like that way? Like as far as like all people, or I mean black people, or are you saying like our culture in like Jamaica?
Well, I guess it's a little bit of both because even though so you have Jamaican culture and then you have the black in general, but like when I talk to like people like Asian, people from Haiti, people from Africa, you know, people that with our skin tone. The thing that I notice is that there are a lot of similarities. There are one or two differences, but there are a lot of similarities. And we're able to relate. I'm just talking based off my experience. We can relate because if say for example, like I watch a lot of skits like on Instagram, where people mimic, like growing up, like African people, like, you know, their parents is like, oh, you can't talk to me like this. You are expected to do this. And that's what I say, and that's final. And then if I talk to somebody from Haiti, it's like, it's the same, it's like so similar. So that's what I was saying. I even some American too. And that brought back to the point of even though we are black and we may be American, there are still every family has different values. So even though, you know, you're from America, right, or even Jamaica, your family value would be a little bit different from mine. Because some people, they go to church and they believe in God and they believe that you're supposed to practice certain things, while other people's like, certain things is not really necessary. You know, they're more liberal and stuff like that. So when I was saying about our culture, it's kind of like certain way in which our parents, you know, taught us to behave. And like I said, there's a lot of similarities within the black culture. Even though we are from different countries or different islands, there's like a lot of similarities. I'm not sure of the percentage, but it's a large percentage.
Okay, so
I don't know. You understand what I'm saying?
I kind of do, but I'm gonna ask a question just to get a little more clarity. In your opinion, would I, a black male who was born in America, whose father is Jamaican, would I be from your culture or would I be from American culture? From your opinion.
So we're talking about you specifically, right?
Yeah, or
just a black man in okay. I would definitely.
How about this? A black man. How about this? Because there's other people out there in my same situation. So, a black man who has my circumstances, meaning a father from Jamaica and a mother from America, and I was born in America. what
Right.
culture do I come from, in your opinion? Because you were born in Jamaica and you were raised
Right.
in Jamaica. So talk to me on that.
Well, the thing about it, like for you, I think that even though you were born in America, I feel like you're longing to be connected to the Jamaican culture. And even like, I think like your researches and even like associating with people of Jamaican culture and eating their food or whatever, I feel like you embrace a little bit of the American way and the Jamaican way. But overall, I think that's just my opinion. I feel like you're Jamaican to me, even though you sound American.
Well, I appreciate you being honest with me, and that's a high compliment for me. I appreciate you saying that, because I wanted you to shoot it straight. You know what I'm saying? If you felt it was the other way, then go the other way. But because you said that, that's love.
I felt like, you know, you, even though you were born in America and you were mostly around your mom and your American friends and whatever, I can see where you want to connect to your Jamaican side. You understand? So it's like even people that you talk to, the food, and even trying to learn about the culture. And I think that's like very good, because like a lot of people that they say that they're born here, but because they were born here, you with your family, your mom is American, your dad is Jamaican. A few people, not everybody, a few people that I've met, they lean to the American side because they're like, that's what they see all the time, and that's what they may be comfortable with. I'm not sure. But for you, I feel like you want to be a part of the other, other half of you. So yeah, and to me, I think you're Jamaican. Like, shoot, you look Jamaican. Your accent probably off if you try to talk Jamaican, but shoot, you Jamaican. Your feet is Jamaican. I'm just trying to be funny right there.
No, you're good. You're good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's where the weed comes from? Like, I smoke a lot of weed. You think that's my Jamaican side?
Well, yeah, it could be a part of it, because, you know, like our culture, like Rastafarian, they, you know, that's a part of their meditation, their ritual of smoking the ganja, the marijuana. Americans say marijuana, we say ganja, you know, and they use that to meditate. And to be honest with you, like not a lot of Jamaican, because I don't like to say that because I don't know the percentage, but people that I know, especially like Christians, they kind of shun Rastafarianism and Rastas. I guess maybe because of the weed. But if you think about it, and if you study and you do research, to me, they're the most healthy people because they don't consume meat. They try to live a ideal, healthy lifestyle, you know, free from putting chemicals and all of that stuff inside of their body. They feel like, you know, everything should be from the ground, from the earth, from Mother, you know, Africa. You know, they embrace positivity inside of their mind, body, and soul.
So we got to start this show, man. We got to start this show. So let's get this thing going, okay?
Okay.
All right. So,
okay.
What do they call you where you're from?
Oh, they call me Tami. Tami.
I know you as Tamika. What they say? Say it again.
They say Tami. Like Americans say Tammy, but Jamaicans say Tami. Tami. You have to put the him in. Tami.
Hey, what you got to put in it? What you got to put in it?
You got to put in Tami. Like when we talk, it's like we talk with emphasis, like with everything. Because it's so funny, like some people think that Jamaicans are aggressive, like the way in which they talk, but it's not. It's just that we're passionate about everything. So So, you may come out that way, but yeah.
Tami.
Yeah.
That's how, did I say it right? Tami?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm trying.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So who gave you that though? Like who's the person who named you?
Oh, my dad named me Tamika. I think my mom said that Tamika, I guess it was some singer. So she named me Tamika. But if you're Jamaican and your name is Tamika or Tamara, you're automatically gonna be Tommy.
Mm.
Yeah.
By default. Hell.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you really had no choice in the matter of your nickname.
Yeah, Tommy.
Like yeah. Okay. Now like that's back home. So what about here? Like people not calling you, Tommy.
No, they call me Meek or Mika. So in America they call me Mika, Meek. Some people say Tamik. I don't know. They have so many so many versions. Yeah. Some people say Tamia. Whatever suits you. I'll answer to all of it.
Okay.
My mom called me Tom Tom.
Oh, okay. That's yeah. That's more of a nickname I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Sometimes she say Tommy, but sometimes she say Tom Tom.
How is mommy?
Oh, she's doing good. She's at work.
Good.
Doing her thing. Yeah.
So what's your motto in life? Like words to live by or either words to die to? You have anything?
Okay, so for me, like as I get older and more, mature, I try to take care of my mind, my body, and my soul. I think those are very important. And it is also important to have inner peace and be contented because there are so many things that's going to distract us. We always want this, we always want that, and then we tend to forget that, we need to express gratitude, be grateful, because when you're grateful, whenever you decide that you're going to get up in the morning and be grateful that you had the opportunity to open your eyes and to be alive, that's one. Be grateful of good, be grateful of everything that come your way, because even with bad things, it helps us to make better choices and it helps us to be stronger. I just try not to let things get to me, let people get to me. And, I always try to welcome positive energy. And then when I realize that, it's like I stress less. So if I feel like, there's like, I forget, there's a quote, somebody said it, that if you surround yourself with, if you're around people that you notice that they're taking energy from you and not giving you energy, it's kind of like your intuition, your inner voice telling you that you need to let those people go. So if you're getting energy from anybody, it has to be positive energy, and you can sense that because energy is very strong, and you can't really escape it. Because you notice, like, if somebody's having a bad day, you're okay, right? You're just feeling normal, and somebody's having a bad day, and they come to you with that nasty energy. If you're not strong enough, it will consume you, right? So we kind of like, and then you have people who are, what do they call it? Energy vampire, that's what they call it? Yes, they'll suck your energy out of you. And then when you're done, you're like, oh my God, I am so drained. So my thing on life right now is just to guard my mind, like be careful what I take in. My body, try to eat as healthy as I can, even though I'm not totally there, but try. And, my soul, try to get it renewed. I have this, what they call mantra. that I say, like I am welcoming positive energy in my soul. I want my mind to be clear. I want my body to be free. And I want my soul to be renewed. Something like that. I wrote it down. I need to memorize it so I can remember. But I can remember it when I'm like quiet. So if I'm just meditating, like all of that just flow. But because I'm talking now, like I guess my voice is distracting me from focusing. So yeah, that's just what I'm doing. Just trying to be at peace and try to not to stress about nothing.
Giving gratitude, much gratitude, like every day. I think that's major. That's a key. So what do you do when people are around you with bad energy? Like, how do you escape that? How do you get away from that, or can you get away from it? So, yeah, what do you do?
Well, for me, the thing about it, I'm not a confrontational person, and so I try to try to be at peace. So if someone is like getting upset or whatever, I try to explain to them, okay, I understand what you're feeling, what you're going through, and maybe now is not the time for us to discuss it because it could be a heated argument or some sort of disagreement. So that's just my way of dealing with the energy. So if I feel like your energy is not right, I try to neutralize it by, okay, we can't talk about this now because we are not in the right place. But, whenever we are calm and collective, then we can possibly discuss it. But then you have to take in mind that, some people are stubborn and they if they said this is what it is and there's no way of changing it, then guess what? You don't have to leave them. Just let them be. Like, okay, well, whatever, that's what you believe. And I respect your opinions, but that's not what I believe. So just let it be. So that's how I deal with things. And then then if it's aware where, you have some people just, we call it, they just terrible. I just shut down, like completely shut down. And I'll use plan ignored for the whole time. So the person would be standing there and I'll just pretend that it's a wall or they don't even exist. So that's just how I deal with, certain situations with people with the negative energy. So
I'm so glad you used that planned ignored. I forgot all about the behavioral terms and stuff that we used to have to implement. That I used to have to implement all this stuff, all the different strategies. Do you still have any of that stuff, or do you still have to use it for what you do now?
Well, I use it for everybody, so it's just automatic. It's just an automatic response. And then guess what? When you do that, then the person will stop because they realize you're not engaging in their maladaptive behavior.
Oh yeah, the behavior modifications. A lot of that stuff works. Like it works when you're at work, but if you apply it to your real life, that shit can work. I trust and believe. I use it all the time. Not the plan to ignore it so much, but just some of the other tactics, some of the other little strategies that they taught me. That behavior health, mental health come in handy. So just real quick, because I do need to slide to the next question, but what brings you inner peace? Because you talked about that. You said that's one of the major things in your life right now. You're looking for the inner peace. So you found it, or what brings you inner peace?
Well, for me, it's like being by myself, reading. I read a lot and, try to meditate and read, I have some quotation that I read. We call it affirmation, words of affirmation that gets me going and just loving me, my own company, and just be free of every distraction that there is.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I got something for you. You ready? Has someone ever given you a last chance, and for what?
That's not really hard because last chance. I don't know.
Maybe like an
It's
ultimatum.
if somebody gives me an ultimatum and I don't agree with it, then I'll just go to the I'll just like, I can't deal with it. So you go your way, I go my way, and whatever. Because I try not to be honest with you, I try not to sweat stuff. Like, I don't know. That's a hard one because I can't even. I would have to like really sit down and think about that question.
Well, I did pick up on something you said because you said if you agree with it.
Uh-huh.
So if someone gave you an ultimatum and you didn't agree with it, you'll ghost them. But if you did agree with it, give me that
Right.
time that you actually agreed with it. When someone gave you an ultimatum and you actually agreed with it, what was that reason and what'd you do?
Okay, good example. Like when I was working at Mentor, that job was stress. And you already know how it is. And they have their own expectation, but the expectation that they have of you is unrealistic. So therefore, you have to suck up to them in order for you to have your job because you have your bills, you have your expenses, you have certain obligation that you have to take care of, right? So in the moment, like, okay, I'll comply with whatever your request is or whatever. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm doing it right now because I have no choice. But I'm preparing myself that if something similar or something crazy happens, I'm not stranded. I'm not, there's options. And so for me, I always believe that, you always try to put your eggs in more than one basket. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket because if that basket drop and break, guess what happens? You're out of luck. So for me, I feel like if somebody gives me an ultimatum and at the moment I'm not able to tell them to kiss my kiss my butt, then I come up with a plan where I have to, I can just say goodbye. I don't need this, and I'm out. So that's how I deal. That's how I deal with ultimatum. That's what you can afford. That's how I deal with it.
Yep. I think that's a great response. Like like preparation. Like plan your next move before you just respond. Like
right, exactly.
But
and that's
much
where that's where self-control is comes into place because you have to be smart, especially when you know that other things are at risk. So you can't just decide that, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna just go ahead and just tell you a piece of my mind, and then what? I'm out in the cold. No, you have to strategically plan before you can do all of that stuff.
Yeah, cause so check this out. Like, and now that you said all that, you made me look at it a little bit differently. So once the last chance has been given, I call pretty much that's an ultimatum. If you're gonna give somebody a last chance, once that has been given by the person whoever is giving it, it's either for the person who's receiving it, either they're gonna comply or they're gonna exit in some kind of way. So like you said, I'm complying for the moment, but in the back of my mind, I'm already plotting my exit strategy. You know what I'm saying? Because this can't happen ever again. I'm not going to ever put myself in a position to where this can happen. So, yeah, I get that. Okay, all right. Well, how about this then? So, when have you ever made a first move?
On what? It just depends on what it is.
I'm super vague. I'm so vague. So, whatever popped up first, that's what I need you to go ahead and talk about. Let's go. When have you ever made a first move?
Well, when you say the first move, I'm thinking about like migrating. That's the first thing. Can you say random? So that's the first thing that came to mind.
What'd you say?
I mean, like migrating, like move from one place to the other. That's when you
All right,
said that. That's what came to mind.
all right, let's talk about it. Talk me through it.
I moved there from Jamaica because of opportunity. A better. There's the thing about it. Jamaica is a beautiful place, and a lot of people when they come here they discredit Jamaica because of whatever. But Jamaica is a beautiful place, and you can experience so much there. You have the good, the bad, and the ugly, just like everywhere else. But the sad part about it is that the opportunity is not as easy as being in America. So what a lot of people, for me, after I graduated, 6 months I was out of job, trying to get a job so, I can start living. And, I saw this ad in the newspaper. Back then, newspaper was the thing before phones and Google and all of that stuff came into play. And so I saw it and I responded to it, and there was like a company that came to, recruit us from Jamaica, and, they were providing service to people with development and intellectual disabilities. And so I went and I did the interview, I got through, and then I came here. And, the thing about it, with me, I take chances. Even if I'm scared, I believe that I'm going to take the chance. If I fail, at least I try. That's what I believe. I'm going to take the chance, and if I fail, at least I try. And I'm going to try, and it's hard. I'm going to keep trying. I may reevaluate and say where I need to make an improvement or make an adjustment, and then, I execute it. Then if after so many years I decide I don't want to do it anymore, then at least, I have the experience, and I always bring over where my experience from one thing to another. I'm talking about positive experience and knowledge from one to the other. So, yeah, I was a mentor. I started regular staff, then lead and manager, and I got all that experience. It was rough because what we're dealing with, people of different personalities, prejudice, racism. Some people, the expectation of you is unrealistic. You have people that do mediocre work and they're not chastised the same as you. Because I remember, I was a manager. We have other managers that I work with, and they'll do some petty stuff, some stuff that you're like, oh my God, don't you know better than that? And if I should do something not even the same, but according to them, not the expectation, it's like they chastise me more because they're like, oh, you know better. Our expectation of you better. You have more experience. You have more knowledge. So you should make that. And to me, it's like we get in the same pay. We have the same job description. So why is it unfair for you to, because you have this expectation of me and the other person is not the same. So whatever. So I'm there doing that. I gained my knowledge, gained my experience, and then I decided I'm going to venture on my own. And so I became a provider for people of developmental intellectual disability on the autism spectrum. Instead of being weighed down by the group home 24/7, I have more flexibility where I'll just go to them, provide my care to their children or, their family member. And then after that, I go my own way until it's time for me to provide services for them.
Bravo. Amazing. Amazing journey. I'm really feeling that. Let me ask you this. Did you travel alone, like when you came over here? Were you by yourself?
No, it was 6 of us, but we all met each other, right there and then. Because, they told us, who we were going to group to and what state that we were going to go, because they had people all over the United States. So we were placed in Florida. It was 6 of us, 1 boy, 1 guy, and 5 girls. And we made it. I think, I'm not sure how many people went back because I'm not in contact with any of them, but, one other person that I came with, she's still around, and we still, have a relationship, a friendship, I should say. Yeah, a friendship is a relationship. Yeah, we still have a friendship, occasionally where we hang out and, go have a bite whenever we are not busy. She doing her thing and I'm doing my thing and stuff like that.
All right. Well, we are getting ready to wrap it up. Let's discuss something in your life you just can't seem to get over, or maybe even push through, even as time passes. So this is not like the day-to-day stuff. This is that I keep going through this, and I can't understand, like, time after time, like, why do I continue to keep going through this type of thing? Do you have anything like that in your life?
I think for me it's self-doubt, because even though I'm trying to practice appreciating myself and the inner peace and all of these things, I feel like sometimes the self-doubt come into place, and I feel like it stems from, because as a child, everybody have their own insecurities about themselves. So it's a challenge for me at times. I'm not gonna lie, because I'll make plans and then I'll just back out the last minute because of, it's not a good thing. But I know it's a work in progress. So I'll make plans and then at the last minute I just back out of it. And it can be frustrating for people and it can be frustrating for me. But I feel like it's a defense mechanism that I build up so that I won't have to. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, but I think it's a mechanism that I develop because, like, the doubt, is always some negative things that may pop up inside of my head. But like I said, it's a work in progress, and I try not to push myself, because when I realize that I push myself to not do it, then it gets worse. So I just pace myself and, try to do a lot of self-talk and, encourage myself as I go by and say, like, I'm a human, I'm a person, and it's okay to feel this way, and it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to feel like if I make plans or set goals and all of them I didn't accomplish all of those goals, or if I make plans to do something or go somewhere or whatever and it doesn't happen, it's okay. Maybe I just need to reevaluate the situation or evaluate myself and, see what's going on. How can I, make it better and stuff like that, and try to be more transparent. Because sometimes, like, my personality is that I kind of like try to avoid confrontation. So I feel like if I make a plan, just be transparent. Like, okay, I am not feeling it right now, and I'm sorry. Or if I make it a goal and it doesn't work, then I'll tell myself that it's okay. You can try again and stay in my own lane and don't compare myself with others and appreciate myself. And that's where self-love comes into place. You kind of have to learn to love yourself and appreciate yourself and work on yourself. I don't know if I answered your question. Did I?
You did, but it kind of, so, because you talked about progress. Were you like this as a child?
Yeah, I would say that, but the thing about it, like, as a child, I was more shut down. I would just avoid it altogether. So that's just how it is. And like I said, it's how I felt about me.
Well, if it's been, with you since you've been a child, and, you well into adulthood, I would say that, that's a part of who you are. Now, it sounds like you do want to change it, though. Do you want to change it or not really?
The thing about it just depends on the situation. If it's something where I feel like it's important and I have to do it, then I'll go forward. But if I feel like it's gonna go against my moral standard or whatever thing, then I'll just avoid it altogether. But if it's something that's gonna uplift me, then I'll go forward and stuff like that.
So that's interesting. So you'll commit even though you know that it may kind of compromise your morals, but then you don't like the confrontation, so you'll just shut down instead of communicating with the person.
Well, yeah, basically. So it's kind of like that. So that's what I'm saying is that I think that it's important just to be transparent, like, okay, you're not able to do that. You don't feel like you have to. And, tell the person that it's okay for me to feel that way. And I understand if you're offended, but, just try to be honest instead of just, like, shut down and avoid altogether, because that's where, the lack of communication, can cause misunderstanding of things. And then, being respectful of the other person and hoping that the next person will respect your decision. That's a work in progress. Yeah, it's a work in progress. So,
well, I don't agree on the work in progress thing. I can't agree on that part. But the communication is what I'm saying. Like,
communication is the thing.
I think.
But the thing about and then the thing about it is that with the communication is that if I feel like if you're communicating something to someone, the person has to be respectful of what you're expressing. And to me, I think for me, sometimes I try to avoid it because I feel like the person will understand where I am coming from. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to explain this and I'm going to say it and the person not going to get it. So, you know what, I ain't saying nothing.
Damn.
So, yeah. But if I see, to me, if I feel like the person will be understanding and empathetic towards me, then I'll feel more comfortable expressing myself.
Expressing the feelings, expressing the emotions.
Yeah, because you have some people that just like, they don't want to accept and they want to go around and go around, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, stop. So, it's just so like that. But like I said, it's just a defense thing that I build up just to avoid the conference, because I'm not really a confrontational person. I express myself like whatever, but I always try to keep the peace, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes. No, that's important, keeping that peace. And something I can work on is letting things go. Like how you said, someone will like keep going and, trying to like, I guess, convince or you've already stated your position of how you feel, but then the person is like still trying to figure out a way or I can work on that. I know that for sure. Like I know Vash, she tell me that a lot. Like, yeah, you ain't got to convince me. You know what I'm saying? Either I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it. But you don't have to try to convince me on stuff. So letting things go. Know when to let it go. LIG. So I think that's a good note right there. Let me ask you, do you have any questions for me before we wrap it up?
No, I would just say a question. I'll just say encouragement towards you on what you're doing. I feel like what you're doing, because I always think that you're a highly intelligent person and you read a lot and you research and I can't have a good conversation with you. That's one thing I cannot, if I can't take anything away from you, that's one thing I cannot take away from you, is that you're very intelligent and you can have good conversation. But the minus is that sometimes you're hard-headed, stiff-necked, and I'm sure that's a work in progress because we all have our thing, and be more receptive of what another person is saying. You may not agree with it, but kind of try to, what you say, put yourself in that person. See it from their point of view, even though you may not think it's accurate. Because, we all have our own opinion and our own feelings. And then another thing, like, listen more. Because I noticed, like, within our conversation, I feel like you listen more, and then when you listen more, you're able to get more out of the person. Because the person's going to feel more comfortable, more relaxed, and not feel like, they're being attacked or they're being judged or anything like that. So, I appreciate you listening and you emphasizing and you using all those techniques that you learn in therapy. That's good, and I like what you're doing, and especially that you trying to include men, women. It's not like gender bias, especially the fact that a lot of men don't like to open up because of how they were cultured not to be vulnerable, not to express their emotion, and so. With that being said, a lot of men, they become aggressive, they become dominant because they feel that's the only way they can be heard. But if they're able, with, a session like yours, they can be their true self, not, put on a mask or a facade or whatever you want to call it, and just, just talk. Let it out. Let it flow, right?
Right. Say it for me. So my show is called Smoking with Your Therapist. Give us a shout out. Say it.
Yeah, so shout out to Smoking with Your Therapist, Lord Snooty. I don't know whatever name you go by.
Hey, you just went, man, you talk about a segue. So my last two questions and we out. So what do you call me and how did we meet? That's it. So you just called me Lord Snooty. I guess that's what you know me by. That's what you call me, Lord Snooty. That is hilarious because we go so far back, and Lord Snooty is what you know. That's what I'm talking about. So just run that real quick, Lord Snooty, or whatever you call me, and then how do we meet, and we can end it right now. We good.
Well, so we actually met at work. And, the fact that you realized that I was Jamaican and that's what you yearn to be a part of because your dad's Jamaican. So I think that's one thing that make you gravitate to me because you want to learn about your culture. So, we worked together. We had a good friendship. And like I said to you, one of the things that I loved about you is that, like for me, when it comes on to people, like if you can have a mental relationship or a psychological relationship where you can have deep conversation and it makes sense, that's what I like. And that's how you are. And I feel like that's how we connect because you're a good conversationalist, you're intelligent, and you can make a person talk because to be honest with you, I'm a shy person and you make me talk and express myself, so that means that you're that good. So, yeah, nobody can ever take that away from you. And I think you should cherish it, nurture it as much as you can, because that's a part of you.
Well, thank you. I'm learning how to receive compliments, even though that first compliment was sideways like a motherfucker. But I'm receiving the first goddamn compliment you gave me. That shit was sideways like a man. But anyways, when I play it back, you'll hear it. I appreciate it. It's all love. All love. I gotta say this because I've been quiet the entire conversation. I have let you say this time and time again, and I bit my teeth every time. So my mother is American. My father is Jamaican. In our heritage, our culture, whatever your dad, your father is, that's what you are, first of all. So I have no choice in the matter of do I want to yearn to be Jamaican, or do I want to be a part of this Jamaican culture? I am the Jamaican culture. You have to understand that just because, like, I've had my dad my whole life. Like he died when I was 17, so I had him a long time, and then I'm still active on the whole side of the family. So I got all his sisters, I got his brothers, I got my cousins, I got family who's like, I literally see them and talk to them all the time. You know, I married a Panamanian woman. Like, that's straight Jamaican. Like, that shit crazy. So, yeah, man. That's what's up. I love that. I just had to say that needs to be on the record. You know, I be needing my credit. And I was like, what? I'm listening to you, like, this is hilarious. But all right. Well, thank you for doing this with me. Thank you for making time for me. I really enjoyed the conversation.
It was fun. Right.
Okay. Well, we'll do it again, all right?
All right. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Talk to you soon.
Put the H down. Put the H down. Man, put the H down and come solve these problems.
Understand I don't know y'all. Remember, I love everybody. I am not your licensed therapist, and nothing shared on this podcast should be taken as medical, mental health, or legal advice. The discussions we have here are for educational, informational, and entertainment purposes only. We engage in open, honest conversations, sometimes including the mindful use of cannabis in a therapeutic setting. So kick back, take what resonates, and remember, always consult your own licensed professional for personalized guidance.